Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So first and foremost, I have a new background because I just moved into a new place, and there either is already a moving video up or about to be a moving video up, but I'm in a house now, so still kind of playing with the background a little bit, but this is what we're working with for now. But yeah, it's officially August, so you know the salt air is here, and because it's August, that means I'm finally feeling the gravity of being post-grad. Like I feel like I really felt it in May, and then I've just been kind of living and loving post-grad life, and now August is hitting and I'm realizing for the first time in my life, at least a life I can remember, that August is not associated with school, and I think it's kind of whack. So that is what has inspired this video. I'm also going to move you down a little bit. Okay. So I watched a lot of videos like this before going into college, and so I thought it would be helpful to make one from my perspective as well. And so I gathered a bunch of friends' advice for college and kind of have consolidated their advice. A lot of it was repeats or very similar advice, so I've consolidated a lot of it into a list. And yeah, we're just going to kind of talk about not really things I wish I would have known in college, because I feel like a lot of these things just like I don't know, like I feel like coming into college I kept a lot of these things in mind, but it's just things that every college freshman, or even if you're currently in college, it's just good advice to have. And of course I've only been out of college for like what, 3 months now, but a lot has changed in 3 months since graduating college, so I thought it would be helpful to make this and give you unwarranted advice that you never asked for. So no, but seriously, I always say I made this channel because I like to look back on my life, and so I want to be able to look back on this video and be like, that's what I had to say right post-grad. And then I also hope this video is helpful for people. Shout out to the group chats that I sent texts in to send me advice. Y'all slayed. This list is also, even though I consolidated it, it's kind of all over the place still, so we're just gonna roll with the punches. And don't look at my nails, I'm doing them today, they're really disgusting. So at my school we have a thing called Welcome Week. I'm pretty sure it's what a lot of schools call it, I don't really know, but it's basically the week of school. And you know, I'm gonna hone in on this a lot, keep in mind that all of this advice is coming from freshmen who entered in 2020, and so I think we sort of have, I think everyone who was in college during the pandemic just has a different perspective on things, so I think that's just important to keep in mind. But several people said to go to Welcome Week events even if you don't want to, because I didn't really have a Welcome Week, and so I think it pushed us all back a lot with just like meeting people and getting used to things and getting used to campus. And then I got to work Welcome Week every other single year of college, and I loved it. I loved working it, and I wish I would have had like a proper one. We did have a few events, my school really did try, but it was just not the same. So go to Welcome Week events even if you don't want to, because I promise, like, although it's highly unlikely that you'll meet your best friend for life at Welcome Week, it is nice to just kind of get used to meeting new people and talking to people. And there were definitely people that I, you know, met working Welcome Week sophomore year that I ran into senior year somewhere, and we were like, where do we know each other from? And then we realized it was Welcome Week. So go to Welcome Week, it's so fun. It's also so college. Like I feel like anything college like would remotely happen in college. Okay, there were so many moments in college where I'd be like, this is so college, like super philosophical discussions, and I think a part of it is because freshman and sophomore year just wasn't college, like what I expected from college, I guess, and junior and senior year were. So anytime anything would happen, like, this is so college, and that's what Welcome Week is. It's literally so fun. But I'm also, this is coming from a person who's also very extroverted, so I think that plays into it as well. But even if you feel like going to Welcome Week is going to be the worst thing you've ever done, try to get out of your comfort zone just for that week, because I think everyone's kind of going into college with the mindset of it's the scariest thing ever, but it's also the week where everyone is getting out of their comfort zones. So I think it's helpful to, during that week, go when everyone's kind of in the same boat as you. And if you go and you hate it, just leave. It's all good. But at least try to go to one if you can. Sorry, I could talk about Welcome Week forever because I just love it. I can't help it. In a similar way, go to tabling events. Tabling events are super big in college. If you don't really know, like I didn't really understand the term tabling, I think, before I went to college, but it's basically where clubs will just like put out a table during, you know, the lunch hour, the lunch rush or something, and they'll give you flyers or free food, or you can enter like a giveaway, things like that. And sometimes it's for organizations that you maybe never heard of, organizations that you just really don't have an interest in joining, but what's the harm in going? I mean, I would stop and get, you know, a free cup of coffee. I would stop and get, if they were giving away lemonade, I would enter giveaways, and you just get to talk to people and learn about what they're about. So go to tabling events, literally what's the harm? And usually these tabling events have free food or free merch or something. Take the free stuff, because I promise you'll miss it later. Take advantage of student ID discounts, take advantage of free stuff. I, so many times in college, would just like go places. Like I remember we went ice skating one year and they didn't advertise that they had a student discount, but I asked, I was like, do you guys have a student discount? And she was like, I don't know. And then we ended up getting like $5 off or something. So yeah, just take advantage of student discounts. If they give you free stuff, take it. I will say that I got better like junior and senior year about like just taking random free shirts, because I was like, I just have too many shirts. But freshman year, sophomore year, rack those suckers up. Like take the free stuff, take the totes, doesn't matter what it is, take it, figure it out later, because you're gonna miss getting the free stuff, I promise. Being a college student, also, this is such a rant, but being a college student is so special because obviously going to college is such a privilege, right? It is something so great and something so profound that I don't think we talk about a lot, but it's a really, really good opportunity. And it's becoming more and more normalized, but it's also a really special thing. Like, you kind of get, depending on your path and things, you can do things with the sort of, I don't know if mindset is the right word, but you know, you can do internships, or you can ask somebody to sit down for a coffee that maybe you want to work at their company in the future. Maybe you're really interested in what they do because you're in college. You have that sort of leverage as a student to call people up and be like, hey, I would really love to shadow you. Hey, I would really love to sit down and have a cup of coffee with you, because then you get to network and meet people. And that is something that I really, 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 really tried to do when I was in school, and I think it's helped me out a lot now, and I think it will probably help me in the future. And of course I had, you know, resources available to me to be able to do those things, whether it was like a mentorship program or something like that. But just emailing people, connecting with people on LinkedIn and being like, hey, I really love your work, I would love to learn more about you, and being able to do that with the leverage of being a student is so much easier than having to do it not like that. And then those people know people. I know like one of the freelance positions I have right now, I got because of an internship that I reached out to somebody about having, you know what I mean? Like, it's just stuff like that that you never know is going to help you, and then they end up being great mentors, great learning experiences, those kinds of things. So take advantage of the title of student in many forms, whether it's networking, mentoring, discounts, free stuff, whatever it is. Live it up. Live it up. Yeah, pretty much every single friend said if something is free, take it. On a similar note to resources, take advantage of the resources on campus. This is my, like, I was a mentor in college for freshmen, so it's coming out, you know, I feel the mentor coming out. But seriously, take advantage. Like, I know it's sometimes really hard to ask for help, right? Like, you know, no one wants to say, oh, I have a tutor, but it's really not that bad of a thing, I promise. It's, people want to help you, and you have resources there to help you. I know my school has like a free clothing store, we have a food pantry. Take advantage of those things if you need them. That's what they're there for. Like, they are funded for you and for students. Take advantage of if they offer therapy, if they offer counseling sessions, those kinds of things, because people at your university want to help you, and it's important to take that. And I'm trying to make this as general as possible, because obviously I only went to one college, so I'm going off of my experiences, but most colleges have systems in place where even if they're tricky, even if they have, you know, red tape you have to go through, those kinds of things, they have resources available to you. I know tutoring is a big one. There's so many people who just want to tutor you. There's study groups, study rooms, like so many resources, whether it be academic or personal. And if you are able to take advantage of those, I highly recommend it. And colleges are also full of people who want to help you. I know I would always feel bad about emailing an advisor or asking a professor a question, but that's literally what they're there for. They want to help you, and most of the time students don't ask, and when students ask, you know, they take the time out of their day to really help you. And of course that's not true for every single human being on the planet in a university, but like, going to office hours, there's been like 3 instances where going to a professor's office hours and asking them a question or asking for clarification has helped my grade, has been the difference between getting a C on a test and a B on a test, like that kind of thing. I would go to my econ professor office hours all the time because I just was having so much trouble grasping it, and she helped me so much. I would go to a lot of my English professors' office hours because a lot of professors like different writing styles and the classes that you take. I took a lot of English classes because English was one of my majors, and a lot of the English classes you take focus on different styles of writing, so being able to sit down with that professor and see what they're looking for and what they want you to get out of the course is really important. I would always email my professor the first week, especially if it was an online class, because most of my classes freshman year were online. In my situation, when you have like gen eds online, right, there's like 200 kids, and so I would make a point to email professors at the beginning of the year or go up to them in class, you know, once it got further into my college career, and introduce myself, put a face to the name. I would make sure I emailed them at the end of every semester to tell them thank you for a great semester. Like, keeping those connections strong even post that class are really important, because you might end up taking another class with them. You might end up working with them one day. Maybe they can get you a recommendation, that sort of thing. So making sure you have personal relationships with professors and with advisors and things is so, I can't even stress it enough, y'all. This whole freaking world is networking, and I'm not saying that like the only reason that you should make relationships with these people is for networking, but seriously, talk to them. They have so much. These people know so much. They're so incredibly smart, and they want to help you. So yes, all of my friends also said that. One of the really good points that one of my friends made was, it's okay if you don't love your time there the first couple of weeks. It's really normal. I remember feeling like, I don't think I really realized it at the time, but looking back on freshman year, I felt so, like, I guess lonely is the right term, but I never felt like I wasn't comfortable just being with myself. But I think I was noticing the fact that because of COVID, and because of COVID, of course, was a big factor into this. But you know, when it's October and you've only been at school for 3 months, you might still feel really out of place. And heck, you might feel out of place for the whole first year of college. You might not be able to get your footing for a while, and that's okay. Like, feeling homesick is okay. Feeling lonely, feeling alone is okay. And even though I did feel like that for some of freshman year, I'm very grateful that I was able to learn how to spend time with myself, because even though in college you're right next door to all of your friends and you're right next door to a bunch of people your age and it's so cool, you also are going to be spending a lot more time just like studying in the library by yourself, eating by yourself. Like, I remember feeling so weird about eating by myself, but everyone at college does it, and you just kind of do it, and then, you know, you don't feel weird about it anymore. So yes, this is a good point that one of my friends says, is find the way that you study best. This may be different than how it worked for you in high school and may take a lot of trial and error. This is so true. I know people say it a lot, but a lot of people don't study in high school. Like, all of my professors would be like, I know a lot of you didn't have to study in high school, but you have to study in college. And that is so true. Like, I promise you will not pass a test. Like, I had to sit and do econ for hours upon hours upon hours to make sure I understood it, or I was not going to, like, literally was not going to pass the test. And also, like, the way that you have to study for a class might not be the same way that another person has to study for the class, and it's really personal. And there's also resources at your schools that can help you figure that out, but a lot of it is really just like sitting down and seeing what works. And with classes, especially like if you're doing like essays, or if you have a lot of essays and exams, a lot of it is, once you take that first test or once you turn in that first essay, you kind of know what the course is expecting, and then you can kind of adjust your style to fit theirs, which can be sometimes sort of hard, but making sure that you're able to do that is really important. And I know that that feels really daunting to do every semester, but I promise once you get in the groove, you'll be good to go. Another point that someone made is be confident in yourself. You're smarter than you think, which I know is really easy to say, but everyone is probably feeling the way that you're feeling, especially as a freshman. And so just being confident in your abilities. You're in school, you're working hard just the same as everyone else. Be confident in your abilities, be confident in what you've chosen to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, be confident in that, because there's nothing wrong with that either. This is a great point. I don't know which friend this is from, but slay whoever said this. Take some time for yourself at least once a week, but preferably more, whether it be hanging out with friends, meditating, watching TV, literally anything other than school. This is so important. I keep going back to freshman year, but I think it's because freshman year stands out so much in my mind, and it was also the year that I formed a lot of really good habits that I kept throughout my college experience. And because there was nothing to do freshman year, I would often, for like 1 hour a day, just walk around campus with my earbuds in. And you know, I started hot girl walking freshman year before we called it the Hot Girl Walk, and that is something that I kept up in college. I would go to parks in the middle of classes. I would go to this like really pretty street that a lot of people walk on in between classes and just like put my music in and like not think about anything, and it was so nice. Or if we were studying for finals, I would stop, leave the library, get in my car, drive, go get an icy, come back and keep studying. Like, find things to do by yourself that aren't academic related, that aren't job related, anything like that. I like to watch a lot of movies at the end of the day. That's how I decompress. So find whatever that is for you and make sure you make time to do it. Like, it is okay to schedule in self-care time. I used to be so bad about this, but people would ask, are you free? And really, that night I had planned, you know, to have a night in, watch a movie, and maybe my friend was asking if I wanted to go to dinner. And I always felt so bad being like, no, because technically in my head, I didn't have plans, but I did have plans. My plans were a self-care night in. No is not a bad word. A professor taught me that. No is not a bad word. You can say it. It's okay. You can say no. It's all right. Biggest lesson I learned in college. Am I still a people pleaser? Yes. Am I recovering? I am. Will I probably always be a people pleaser? Unfortunately. But I have been getting better about saying no. So someone else said, don't be afraid to email your professors or go to office hours. They want to get to know you. Advisors want to help you. Like, don't ever feel like you're being a burden. Go to as many events as you can. Like, meeting more people, that's what college is for. You're never going to be in this sort of setting if you're... Oh, also I want to preface, most of this advice is obviously geared to people who are living on campus, because that is just my experience and that is a lot of my friends' experiences, but this can be applied more generally as well, even though some of them are very much on campus based, so I'm sorry for that. But literally go to as many events as you can, which I know can be hard if you commute to school or if you're taking online classes, but if you do live on campus, it is never a bad thing to meet more people. And I know that's really easy to say as someone who's super social. I eat up campus events, y'all. I eat them up. But when I was in college, I was very aware that like I was never gonna live in this kind of space again in my life. Like, you are never gonna live on campus with thousands of people your age again. Like, it's just not gonna happen. And so I would take advantage of every opportunity to like go to things where I could be like, this is so college, and then you meet fun people and maybe you never talk to them again, maybe you do, but that's what college events are for. So on the other end, go to these events because there are students just like you planning them that want them to be a great time and a great experience, so support those people. Yeah, someone else said utilize all of your resources. It's not a bad thing to struggle. It's not a bad thing to ask for help. It's not a bad thing to reach out to a mentor. So yeah, these are things that I wish I knew. If I had to sort of sum them up, I would say network, mentorships, being involved on campus as much as you can. If you're not on campus living, obviously that might not be the easiest, but as much as you can, go to office hours, utilize your resources. Like, oh my gosh, these are just things that I wish I knew. I rant talk, so I'm sorry I talk really fast, but thanks for listening. And if you're entering college, I promise it is so wonderful. And also, if you go to college and you realize this isn't for you, that is also so valid. So you do you do what you need to do. But if you're starting college, you're gonna do great. Happy August. I'm post-grad now, actually, because college is starting, which means it's not just summer anymore. Anyway, this is crazy. But also, don't be scared to graduate. I was petrified to graduate, and I still do miss being in college, obviously, because college is so special, but I promise it's not that scary. I was petrified, guys, and I'm here, I'm thriving, I'm loving life. So live it up, enjoy it. I promise it'll fly.